Sarah, you look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
And you got your water. So welcome to the Pride Corner. I have to still remember my lines. My name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Momatrician. If I look a little tired, it's because I just drove 6 hours to my place of work. So I am a bit tired. I don't have any makeup on, but I'm here because the show must go on. I have a beautiful, beautiful woman. What's your first name? Was it Shannon? No. Yeah,
It's
Shannon.
Beth.
Beth.
Yep.
Beth. Elizabeth. Yes, yes, of course. My mom is Elizabeth, actually. So welcome. I see a lot of people joining us. The show is called The Pride Corner, and we are talking to LGBTQ folk and allies, and we're focusing on our coming out stories and more, with a spin or a hyper focus on acceptance. So I'm going to drink my water just like Elizabeth.
It's just Beth, actually.
Beth, okay,
Yep.
and then we'll just get started. Beth. So Beth, what are your pronouns?
She, her.
Very good. I'm she, her too. So let's get started, Beth. So Beth, no pressure. You're going to be just fine. We want to get the party started. So I am a pediatrician. I'm also a coach for LGBTQ plus kids parents. Okay. So I'm a parent coach for LGBTQ plus kids. It's important that we make that definition. So I'm not a coach for the children. I'm a coach for their parents, but I'm also a pediatrician. So it's kind of tricky, but it doesn't have to be. So we want to talk about this. We want to make the best of this Pride Month. We want to talk about these things that no one really wants to talk about, but they're there. They're just hovering around. So Beth, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Tell us, everyone who's watching, a little bit about yourself. Hi, Dr. Vivid. Welcome. So go, Beth. Go.
Sure. So my name is Beth, and I'm 34. I'm originally from San Diego, California, but I live now in Dallas with my wife. Yeah. And I guess a little bit about my journey being LGBTQ. I identify as a lesbian. And I knew that when I was really young. I had my first experience with being with women when I was 16, and that kind of solidified that for me. Yeah, I've been with my wife for, it'll be 8 years now in November. And we love being together, and we're hoping to start a family soon. So
that is amazing. So my wife and I were we would have been 9 years on the 2nd of July.
Okay.
But we went our separate ways on the 1st of January.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But I mean, yes, I appreciate that. But I'm actually doing a whole lot better than I thought I would. Right. So I'm happy for you all. I'm so excited that you're here. Are we going to get a glimpse of her?
Oh, no, she's at work.
She's at work.
Yeah.
But this is so good. Thank you so much for coming, because you don't know me. I had made an announcement and you said, I'll bite. And that's important, that people are willing, like you and Beth, and no, not you, and Rebecca and Shannon from day one, just like, you know what, I'll do it. Why not? Yes. You know? So thank you so much. I'm going to ask you to do me a huge favor if you can. There's an arrow at the bottom of your screen. If you could just tap that arrow and invite your friends, whoever comes up, just so we can have more people, that would be great. And then we can get started. So thank you all so much. And if you're watching me and you can hear my voice, do me a favor and do the same thing. Invite everyone that is your friend that you can find, and let's get this party started. So Beth, I can't thank you enough. So tell me, just tell me already, how was your coming out?
I always feel like my coming out story is a little bit more unique than others, because I did not have any trauma surrounding my coming out story. I was openly accepted from everyone that I came out to. So I was really lucky with that. I remember it very vividly. I was in Illinois at school. I was going to college, and I had just started dating the first woman that I had ever dated. And I called my parents, because they were in San Diego. And I was freaking out that they were not going to be okay with this, even though I knew, they're my parents, they love me. They've taught me love and acceptance my whole life. There's no reason this will be different. And when I told them, my mom's reaction was pretty typical for her. She said, whatever makes you happy, sweetie, makes me happy. I don't care. And then my dad, in anyone who knows my dad, it's in his true fashion. He said, "You mean there are going to be no unexpected pregnancies? That's great."
I love your dad already.
Yeah.
And I think someone is here. Whiskey 1 Romeo India.
That's my best
here.
friend.
Yes, I figured.
Hi, Sarah.
Welcome to the party. Oh my goodness. We're sending, if you're watching me, if you can hear my voice, send her flowers. Send her flowers. This is so important to me that she's here, so supportive. This is so, so, so good. Yes, dad is so funny, of course.
So
but that's amazing that you have a supportive dad. And we're going to go there. We're going to go there because I know, and I'm so happy for you that yours was not traumatic. But you and I also know that too many kids are reading with trauma. As a matter of fact, before I came on, I was just trying to post something somewhere, I don't know where. And I came across the numbers. 33% of kids who, trigger warning, die by suicide are LGBTQ plus community. Yep. So 1 in 3, I want you to just kind of let that sink in. 1 in 3 kids who jump are LGBT. That's 1 too many. So just so you know, when I talk about acceptance, we're not joking here. So needless to say, they're sending you flowers. Miri, thank you. Needless to say, let's talk about, do you know anyone in the LGBTQ plus community who did not have an easy ride like you do? And if you're watching us and you can hear my voice and you want to share your story, please type it in the comment section. First of all, type live if you're watching us live. And then when you're watching it in the replay, type replay because I want to know who's watching replay. But I want you to tell me, do you know anyone who didn't have such a smooth ride? For instance, your spouse, did she have a smooth ride? And what are her pronouns?
Yeah, so I don't want to share too much about her journey. She's a pretty private person. But she had a very similar experience to me when she came out to her family. So we're both very lucky in that. And we live 20 minutes from her parents, who we spend a lot of time with. So they're basically kind of my parents too. So we were both very fortunate with that. But we did meet at a women's college where a lot of women came out as gay when we were there. And not everyone had the best experience when they either went home on break or called home to tell their parents how they were feeling. So it was pretty common for people to just meet up with us and talk and tell us, you guys are so lucky that your experience was so different. I haven't spoken to my family in years because of this. We recognize how truly lucky and blessed we are for our experience. And I'm so glad that I could share it, because coming out does not need to be scary and traumatic. There will be people out there who love and accept you.
I love that part. I want you to say it again for those at the back. First of all, I say you shouldn't even be coming out at all. Like you shouldn't have to come out or go in or wherever. But it should not be traumatic. It should not be traumatic. Sadly, we have way too many people who do not even ever come out. They do not even ever come out. Most of them are Nigerian. And I just happen to be Nigerian, because in Nigeria, if you come out as gay, you may very well be writing your death sentence. I mean, it's that bad. And I can only speak for Nigeria, but I know that it's not only Nigeria. But I'm Nigerian, so I can speak about really West Africa. They are that homophobic. Not that America is is too far ahead, because, I mean, didn't they just kill another trans woman like a week or so ago in, I think, was it Puerto Rico or something? So, I mean, it's worldwide. It's worldwide. Mm-hmm. But now coming down to the fact that I'm sure this is going to be like a no-brainer. When you have children, not if, but when you have children, are you planning on like expecting one of them to be queer?
I don't think we have those kind of expectations for our children. I think we'll just raise them in a home where love is abundant and acceptance is the name of the game. And if they bring home a same-sex partner, great. And if they don't bring home a same-sex partner, that's fine too. And I don't think we'll put too much emphasis on it. And because they'll be raised around two women who love each other and families who are accepting of that love, I don't think it will be a coming out story for them. I think it will just be, hey, mom, this is my girlfriend or my boyfriend or whatever. And we'll be like, great, that sounds good to us.
And you're
As long
getting
as you're
some
happy.
cheers. Cara Freed one is giving you loves and all kinds of applause, because it's true. Ideally, your home really should begin with your heart. Your heart should be open and accepting. And then, of course, from the abundance of your heart, your home should also be open and accepting. But as you know, enough of us just don't have that experience at all. And here we are. So what plans do you have, if any, to mark the Pride Month? What are you doing besides coming on this live show and sharing about your coming out story?
I try to encourage anyone who's struggling with coming out or identifying their sexuality, putting a name on it if they feel like they need to. I feel like this month is a good time to have those conversations with people you can trust. So just reiterating really on social media that if you feel comfortable, I'm one of those people you can trust with that information. If I'm the first person you choose to share that with to kind of get the rhythm down of how you want to say it, I'm happy to be that sounding board. So that's kind of how I choose to spend the month of June, especially during COVID and in Texas where people aren't as vaccinated as others. It's hard to go out and do pride things. So just making it known that I'm a safe space or a sounding board for you if this is your first time. I'm always happy to be that person, and reiterating that through the month of June is how I choose to celebrate.
Fantastic. That is so deep. I don't think I've only interviewed 3 people, but I don't think anyone has said that to me. I've also not asked that question of anyone else. But can you please tell the viewers your social media handles in case someone wants to maybe DM you, because I think that's really important.
Sure. So on Instagram, you can find me at You're Welcome, We Finally. And there's very silly reasons for that, but that's the way that is. And then I am just Beth Greenway on Facebook, so you can find me that way. It's a picture of myself and my wife, and you can see us with, I think it's the one of our dogs when we had crazy snow here back in February. So
Yes.
it's and I'm not really on Twitter, so it's really just Instagram and Facebook.
Well, you heard it. So do I dare to ask what that means? Because I was like, what does that mean? And you know I'm going to ask.
So
But of
no,
course,
it's
you're
okay.
welcome to.
My wife's boss thinks it's really funny. So the reason that that's my handle on Instagram is so that when I like someone's photo or video, the notification you get says, "You're welcome, we finally liked your photo."
Oh, wow. Well, that makes a lot.
It's pretty silly, but it's
Okay,
kind of fun.
that's good. That's good. You know, that's very, very, very good. So let's go on to what I do, which is coaching parents of LGBTQ kids on acceptance of their children. What would you say to, because you had such a smooth ride? I mean, I'm so jealous of you in a sense. What would you say to a parent who is genuinely struggling with even understanding what their child is going through, what more accepting their child? What would you say?
I would ask what part of the news of your child coming out to you makes your child different now. If you loved your child the same yesterday and that child has come to you saying, I identify as a member of the LGBTQ community, the child's not different. The information they're sharing is different. So I would say, what makes them different now than they were yesterday when you loved them just as much?
That is very, very powerful. I have a free PDF on my website called 10 Things You Should Know About Raising Your LGBTQ plus child. And one of the 10 things is that when my child came out as non-binary, I was like, okay, it's still the same hair, same voice,
Yep.
same heart.
The same person
Same
you
person,
raised.
no difference. But these parents are genuinely startled, some, and in denial, I almost want to say. So what would you say to them? Do you have anything to say to them as far as like how to navigate it?
I think especially now compared to when I came out, which was 2007, I think. It's so much more widely accepted just generally in society, especially in the United States. that we as the LGBTQ community, we don't face the same hardships that we faced before. We can get married, we can adopt children. There are fertility centers if you want to get pregnant with your own. So it's not the stumbling block that it used to be. And if you have a fear for your child that it's going to be scary, how can you be a person on their side of that struggle rather than adding to the struggle?
That is point blank, period. Most people focus on the fear, which really fear is the false evidence that appears real. But they're
Right.
so busy focused on the fear, they forget their child over here who's like, Mom, what about me? Right?
Right.
I love that. And Whiskey One Romeo, India, which is,
My friend
let's
Sarah.
see, Rye. Is it Rye? Worry? Because I was military, I'm trying to figure out what she's spelling. But she's talking about drinking the water. Thank you so much. Yes, my voice is fried already, and I haven't even started yet. But yes, so I'm gonna drink my water. Thank you so much. But this is so critical that parents don't forget your child while you're busy worrying about your child. Like,
Exactly.
you know, and quite frankly, I believe that your child has 210 times, 100 times chance of thriving if you come along and don't just make it about you, which is what I've seen a lot of my clients do. They suddenly make it about them. It's like, well, you know, what are my friends going to say? What is the church going to say? What are the neighbors going to say? What are they going to say? They're going to say what they're going to say, and such. So let's hop on to something else. And if you're just joining us, or if you're watching this, just so you know, I don't have a template. I just kind of go with the discussion. So we're going to go on to my big platform, which is youth suicide prevention. So have you, or do you know anyone who has had that unfortunate incident, either as a result of being gay or as a result of being queer or LGBT? Have you had any experience with a friend or anyone like that? Would you like to talk about it?
I'm really lucky in that I haven't had anyone close to me go through that experience or have the desire to go through that experience. Generally speaking, if they're going through something, my friends specifically, if they're going through something with coming out or handling their sexuality in some way and it's been overwhelming for them, most of those women, they're mostly women, 90% of them went to college with me. At the college that we went to, it was encouraged that everyone stay in contact. This is your network. These are your sisters who will support you. Right. And so they tend to reach out when they're struggling. We rally around them and we support them and we find resources for them if they need it. So just having a community to turn to has been really helpful for all of my friends who have been struggling with their identity.
Yes, having a community. I have a podcast called Suicide Pages where I talk to just regular human beings about, you know, suicide experiences, if they know anybody, whatever. So if you're watching me and you have your hands free, anybody who's watching, kindly type in Suicide Pages with Dr. Lulu, please. That's my podcast. So I have that podcast and it never fails. At the end of the podcast, I always ask the guests, what do you have to say about, you know, to someone who is struggling? And almost everybody says the same thing: community, connection, community, connection. Because, you know, as you know, rejection is so powerful, and kids are so trusting that when their parents betray them, because I call it a betrayal, betray them that way, it's devastating. And I do have a story to share with you. I didn't want to forget. I went to an all-girls high school, and I also I realized that I was gay when I was in my all-girls high school, you know. And then I told my dad about it when I graduated, and I think he saw it in my yearbook. Someone had written it down, I think you're homosexual or whatnot. So I told my dad, and my dad was like, well, I think it's probably a phase. But I wanted to mention to you that I went to an all-girls high school too, and I wouldn't say people came out en masse, but I know I did discover that I liked girls a little bit too much while I was in high school. Wow, wonderful. So yes, find a tribe or build your own. Oh my goodness, that is so powerful. find your tribe or build your own. And actually, let me say something about that. A lot of my clients tell me that, well, my child wasn't gay when they were home. Then they went to college and then they became gay. Do you wanna say something about that?
I think that's kind of in a way that's putting the parents' responsibility on the back burner by saying, well, I didn't raise them that way. They learned that somewhere. And I don't think that that's fair. Your child has always been that way. They just found their voice somewhere that wasn't your house.
They just found their tribe.
Yeah.
I've never even thought about it that way, that the parents are actually shifting the responsibility from them, because you should know your child. And while enough parents know or have a hunch, like I did, I had a hunch that my child was, well, at that time, gay. I'm still finding a lot of parents. Last night I had a mom at 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh my goodness, I've been crying all day. I can't believe she's gay and all this. All at 1 o'clock in the morning, she calls me on my cell phone.
Oh man.
Yes, she's like, oh my God, freaking out. I'm like, okay, so it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, I had a phone call. I was like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning now. Come on now, get a grip, you know. She's okay. I think we can wait till the morning. But enough parents actually have no idea. And those might be the ones who say, well, you know, I didn't raise them. I raised them a Christian, or I raised them Catholic in my case. And you know, I don't know where she got that from, because it wasn't from me, you know. And I don't know if you know about this. Do you have any family members who are also in the LGBTQ plus community?
Yes.
So I haven't seen, like, there's a, because when I wrote my little article, I couldn't find that there was a gay gene, but there's some chromosomes and some familial tendencies. And so just kind of going back to that, I didn't raise them that way, or no child of mine is gay. If you dig deep down, you will usually find an uncle or an aunt, you know, before them. And so when the parents say that, that usually for me is like, did you really not know? Did you really not know? So Beth, as we wind down, thank you so much, Miri. My podcast is called Suicide Pages with Dr. Lulu. So as we wind down, is there anything you want to say that maybe we haven't touched on, maybe any piece of advice for a parent, but also for a child that maybe we didn't touch on today?
I would say a kind of a humorous way to combat a parent or a critic of your life who says things like, you know, being gay is a sin. You can always say, well, Jesus died for my sins, and if no one's sinning, he died for nothing. And that kind of
I didn't see the end of that coming. I thought you were going to stop at, well, Jesus died for my sins, so technically I'm not a sinner. But the end, I didn't see that coming. That's amazing. My own funny way, my own little humorous way is I tell myself, well, since you think, you know, I was born straight and I became gay, let me see. Yeah, when did you, since you were born gay, when did you decide to become straight, is what I say. Because you think I was born straight and I decided to become gay. I say, well, since you were born gay, when did you decide to become straight? You know?
Yeah.
So just kind of like
a silly discussion. It's not something you're born with. It's not something you know, actively choose. It's something about who you are, and you should be loved and accepted for the person that you are, and it shouldn't matter who the person that you love is. If you're two consenting adults, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that choose thing. Choose. Enough people also put that myth out there that yes, it's a choice. One of the things that I say is, who do you know that's going to choose possible death over life just to show you that, okay, mom, I can choose to be gay? Like, being gay, there was a time when, maybe even now, in some countries and in some parts of America, where you can get killed for being gay. So the parents that, you know, don't think that, you know, your child is not likely to choose this rather dangerous option, you know. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that the only choice so to speak, that someone has when it comes to being in a relationship or loving someone is the person that they love. That's the choice. They don't get to choose their sexuality. They get to choose their partner.
That is powerful. That's a tweetable moment. Please, Mary, if you're still here, you need to tweet that for me on this comment section. The only choice is who your partner is. You don't choose your family that you're born with.
Nope.
And you don't choose to be gay. That's the perfect place to end this. That is so good. So anyone watching us, does anybody have any questions? Let me see, you got some flowers. That's nice. Risky said they were here. Carefree said they were here. Okay, so if we don't have any any questions, we're going to round it up. So before I let you go, where can the viewers find you again? And I don't know if you want to mention what the kind of work that you do, if you're like in business by yourself, if it matters or not.
No, I don't work for myself. I work from home. I'm a customer success manager for a software company. My wife works as a surgical assistant for a plastic surgeon. And you can find me on social media. I am on Instagram at You're Welcome We Finally, or you can feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, Beth Greenway. It's a picture of myself and my wife and our 2 dogs in the snow.
Fantastic. Well, you heard it from the horse's mouth, literally speaking. My name is Dr. Lulu. I'm the host of the show. We try to keep it between 30 minutes and 1 hour. And it's going to be every single day at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So if we have no questions, I'm going to do my little going away spiel. So join me tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm also on TikTok. Are you on TikTok, Beth?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I just started my TikTok like a week ago. And actually, I'm trending. I was like, okay, whatever that is. But so my TikTok handle is at Uchenna. But really, if you just type in Dr. Lulu, Dr.Lulu, I'm the first one that pops up. So I'm doing what I'm calling a daily queer parenting tips with Dr. Lulu. And so we just define LGBTQIAP, and then we're talking about gender today. So just join us every single day, 1 minute long only, and you can learn a thing or two. And of course, I'm on Instagram at Ask Dr. Lulu. I'm also on Facebook. And if you are a parent of an LGBTQ plus child, if you suspect that your child might be in the queer community, or if you're an ally that wants to come out as an ally, or if you're an ally and you just want to come and join us, my Facebook group is called Positively Parenting Your LGBTQ plus Child. And we hit 500 members yesterday, and this morning we're at 600 members. So we are growing at the speed of I don't know what, and I'm thankful. Other than that, my name is Dr. Lulu. I will see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central. Beth, thank you so much for joining me. Beth Fry, is that you?
No.
Are you Beth Fry? Okay, so another Beth.
Different Beth
joined. Miri joined us. Rachel, Karen, B joined us. Whiskey 1 Romeo India. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for typing. Journey of Joy. Thank you so much for joining us. And then Emo Lord Salter Ego. Emo Lord's Alter Ego. And then Gatron 8. Oh my goodness, these things are like hooked on phonics 101. The Arian something Vila, and then Dr. Vivid joined us. Thank you all so much. My name is Dr. Lulu. I'll see you all tomorrow.